And under temp directory, I have an Meterpreter folder. I will use this one. That's fine. So this executable is going to be used to infect this machine. I am copying this executable to this machine. So maybe you wonder that how our victim download this machine to his computer. Can you tell me some reasons why they can download? But if you, I mean, the attachment may not work, but if you send a link and this is your, the picture of your girlfriend or boyfriend, they're going to probably download it, and 100%. Okay. Yeah, that's also possible. And maybe some you see some web pages they are saying that, hey, malware found on your machine. Click here to, clean it up. So that's also another way. And the point is actually, this is pretty much social engineering. You can't just download an executable to a target machine. But of course, if you have an, let's say, the remote connection to that machine, you can copy whatever you want. But if you have a remote connection to a machine, why I should copy a Meterpreter? I can convert my communication channel to a Meterpreter shell. So this is pretty much, depends on social engineering. Unfortunately, it's not allow you to do that. But I saw many cases, and since as a part of penetration testing, sometimes companies ask you to run a social engineering test, and my percentage is actually more than 70%. I'm sending an email to a 100 person, I'm getting 70% click, and most of them downloading the file. Okay. Then the interesting thing is, I would like to say that we were running a penetration test for a company, and we created a phishing attack for a company, and saying that, hey, please update your credentials and address and salary information at here, because you are going to get a bonus in the next year. It's going to be evaluated with the information that you're providing at here. And I send it to 100 person, I get 200, more than 200 clicks and information, and I just confused that. I'm just sending 100 and I'm getting more than 200. How is this possible? And I say that people are forwarding to each other in the company. But I mean, yeah, money, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this is how we can do that. And when I click on that, without talking, let's create one that is really bypass the antiviruses, huh? Just let's do it right now, huh? What do you think, guys? Yeah. Yes, let's do it. Auto, what is it? What is that? Slash evasion. Okay, change directory automate log. This is my script. That slash automate load py, and I will use this. Actually, if you hit enter, it tells you that 64-bit, use this one, 32-bit, use this one. I will use the 64-bit because it allows us to bypass firewalls and antiviruses much easily, because the address space is bigger than normal. Okay, the L port is going to be 443. Okay, it's going to use the reverse TCP again, and let's wait for this. Okay, Metload 43 for the 64 is created under this directory. Let me use that and submit it to VirStodal. Okay, other locations. For dub and Matplot 64. Copy. Okay, there is no Matplot 64 here, and I'm testing that one here, and let's submit this to VirStodal.
So your Python script created a Metload 64 based off the options you just put in.
Yep, exactly. And that there are methods to do that, although it's not publicly available because it may harm some people. So we are keeping that in a private tool. But there is a way to do that. Just I'm trying to prove that. Files total and okay, choose file and Camden. I begin to call myself a Camden, although my name is pronounced as Jandan. because so many people are calling me as Camden, and I get used to that. Okay, it will take some time, but let's see that this actually executable is working exactly the same way the Meterpreter is working. So actually, it created the Meterpreter and also creates this listener. So listener is actually should work now. I think take some time, huh?
Just creating the interpreter shell.
No, it's just creating the listener. Yeah, we're gonna bind that. 443, yeah, Ruby is listening that. Could you please? Yeah, okay. Our listener is running. It's not exploiting anywhere right this moment. But when I copy this executable to here, it's actually going to connect back to here, and it's fully functional Meterpreter. So let's paste this one, and here you can see there is no session available. When I click on that, it's run, and okay, the stager is going. Meterpreter session 1 is open, and there we go. So I have sessions. When I hit sessions -I, it's actually the number one session is open. By the way, it's trying to migrate to Avira because it can bypass the antiviruses, and I'm trying to migrate to Avira's address space. So I'm hiding myself in an antivirus solution. So that's a little bit freaking out solution, but at least it works. Session -interact with the first one, and who am I? Okay, I'm in the Meterpreter shell. So let's get system or system info. Okay, you see that I'm in the Windows machine. So this is absolutely, let's run get system. Okay, try to get the system already I have because I have the admin rights, and let's use something really cool. Which one? Take screenshot, huh? Screenshot. Okay, let's choose open something really interactive because I'm going to need something interactive at this point. So the screenshot is saved under this directory. So let's go back that directory. Automat load, and what was that? Division. Automat load, and there we go. This is the screenshot. Come on. Okay. Although it's a little bit small, but you can identify that it's actually my Windows machine. And who cares this screenshot, right? I need something really fantastic. Might be run VNC, huh? This is actually the post-exploitation modules. Actually, the VNC is post/Windows/MISC/VNC, something like that. And I have a listener on this port, and it's going to connect me back, and if I wait for a couple of seconds, it's going to open a really nice VNC interview. See that? It's actually the VNC view of this target machine. It's not the screenshot. And please note that it's actually live, and the numbers are changing all the time. So actually exactly the same screen is on my Windows machine. So I can see exactly the same thing on this machine, and I can even inject some keylogger, right? Because people really like to read the keyloggers. So what I like to do is key scan start. Okay, Sniffer is started. Let's open a. Yeah, it's keylogger. Notepad, and let's use this one. My super secret password. Okay, this is my super secret password, and let's key scan dump. See that? Notepad, down key, my super secret password, and backspace, and see that everything is working. And Aristotle is saying that, hey, this is harmless. See that? 55 different antiviruses saying that this is actually nothing wrong with this executable. And and in a secure environment, if this is the case, if they are antiviruses, they are not a big deal. Even they are an application whitelisting, there are still ways to escape that. But although it's not easy, but there is a way to do that. And let me show you something really interesting also. So, are you guys see? Let's go back to points. We would like to.
Is your computer supposed to be open like someone left it, or it can be locked and still will?
It has to be open. If it is locked, then you need some lock screen bypass payloads. There are some available for that. For example, macOS, they are vulnerable. Unfortunately, NSA dumps shows us that Mac lock screen can be bypassable. So they can use that. And then maybe you have to use multiple exploits at a time, but it's fine. For example, the iPhone exploitation in the recent war, maybe you heard that Mohsin, it's actually a democratic rights supporter in the Saudi Arabia. He is attacked by NSO group. They actually used 3 different exploits at once for an exploitation on iPhone devices. So, yeah, then maybe you heard that. So let's go back to points because we are running out of time. I have quite a few minutes.
Well, it was interesting stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So this is how Meterpreter is used, and I would like to go back and see that how is this gonna work. So we already created our reverse TCP, but what we need is we need an handler for that, and I'm talking about this executable, reverse underscore TCP underscore 216.443. So when you generate a Meterpreter, you have to generate a listener for that, and let's do that and finish this session. So what I like to use is use exploit multi-handler. This one is the famous one. It's actually the handling the exploits, and you need to, of course, set some of the payloads and all of them. So what is going to handle this handler? You are going to handle Windows. Oops. Okay. Yeah, it sometimes happens and it takes 10 seconds. It's okay. It's actually, I think the Metasploit framework is trying to index some of the contents or read the contents of somewhere. That's why it sometimes takes some time, but it comes back. Meterpreter and reverse TCP. It has to be exactly the same payload. So we actually set the payload. So what we need is we have to set the lhost and lport to exactly the same. So what I like to do is set lhost to 172.16 to 52 to 16, and the lport is going to be 4433, right? Because I use the 4433 for this port, and I will use that one here also. Show options. Seems good. When I hit exploit, what's going to happen? Nothing. Yeah, it's going to listen. But if this guy click on this and execute, it's going to send the stager, and it's going to open another Meterpreter session. So we got system info. I'm in Jandan Windows 7. If I say get system, I get the system because admin privileges allow me to do that. And we already covered the keyloggers and VNC and screenshots and all of them. But what I like to do is sometimes, let's say a system administrator, you are in an admin machine, and they're looking at the running process, and they found that rev underscore TCP underscore, this executable is not familiar with it, and he's going to probably catch you up because why this executable is running on my machine. So you have to hide yourself. So how can I hide? I can migrate to another process. And which process should I migrate? You can type PS to see which processes are running. You can choose one, but probably the process should be stable enough, and also should not be so important, because when you crash it, it may crash the system. For example, if you migrate to SVC host, if you crash this process, it may cause the blue screen and reboot the system. So it might be problematic. My favorite is migrating to a notepad or some unimportant processes, or maybe an explorer. So let's try with maybe a notepad, huh? Is there any notepad process on this one? I think I have, because I open a notepad.
But for your process to be run, and Notepad supposed to run also, what if customer closing?
It doesn't have to actually. Let's close. Let's close. For example, here we have a notepad process is running. For notepad, it's actually an exception one, because Meterpreter allows you to migrate -F. This is going to migrate you to a notepad. Actually, if you hit migrate and leave it alone, you can even choose a PID, or you can choose the process name, or even let it to migrate F. It's going to migrate to a notepad process. If it's not available, it's going to create. And let's try. Okay, -I might be interesting. Let me see on my code, because I believe that there's something like that. Oh, I modified that. Okay, anyway. Interesting. Okay, I'll cut this part, by the way. Okay, anyway, so let's find a process to migrate and complete our job. Which one? Explorer?
No, clipboard.
Clipboard?
Yes.
Where is it?
Background process.
I need process ID, by the way.
Oh, okay. Usually that's gonna run anywhere, anyways in the background.
Yeah, I think, for example, Foxit Reader Updater. See that? Seems a good candidate. 3056, I think PID, yes. Migrate to -process 30. Okay, you can just say that 3056. So when I hit enter, please follow the reverse TCP. It's going to be red and it's going to disappear. So it's not available anymore in the task list. So my process is actually communicating with Foxit something. Where is it? Yeah, this one. This one is my Meterpreter anymore. And when I look at its memory location, for example, let's click on properties and memory, and search for some string and filter out contains 172.16.52. Okay, this one is going to be fine. See that there is a connection actually, TCP 172.16.52.216. So I have a connection with this machine using this process, and this process actually innocent process. So this is how you can hide your process. But the problem is, when you reboot the machine, you lost your Meterpreter. Okay, so you have to be persistent. There is a way to do that. If you hit persistence, what was that? Maybe it's post. Okay, what was that? Run post. Oh no. My machine is stuck again. Post. There are a lot actually. Let's use this and see that. Yes, please. So a lot, and one of the famous one is actually credentials, Bitcoin, ARP scanner. There are a lot. I strongly advise you to use that. For example, Skype may be interesting. Outlook, Razer, and enumerating some of that. And manage, recon. What is the persistence? Privilege migrate, MS SQL, multiple interpreter injector. I couldn't find it, but it has to be something Windows/persistence something. Gather credentials, escalate, recon. Okay, anyway, I couldn't find that.
Yeah, but nonetheless, that gives you your Meterpreter to process every time the system's rebooted, but it still can be discoverable. How would you hide it and not necessarily pre-boot, but when there's logic, you hide the hooks?
Yeah, and I mean, the best thing we can do is show, when you hit show options, it shows you the basic options when you create a handler. But if you advance, but okay, advanced, okay, this one, and this part actually you can say that auto run script, okay? You can identify the migrate to Foxit updater or Explorer executable every time. Whenever I have a connection, migrate and disappear. So the first time this connection is established, it can hide itself. But until that point, unfortunately, you can't do anything. No.
How you can detect this kind of things running on the computer?
Oh, it's actually a forensic investigation course, and we will cover that maybe a couple of months later. So after this one, we'll probably start with a forensic investigation because we would like to know which people are putting our machine and try to find that, and maybe in the next course. So I would like to finish at this point. Do you guys have any questions? Are you enjoying?
Yeah.
Good, good, good. I hope you use it for an penetration testing or joking to your friends. Please do not use for any other things. In the next class, we are going to create a Meterpreter for Android devices. We are going to inject it on an Android device and run some, the listening the Android phone, getting the SMS and video of the Android phone, and we will run some man-in-the-middle attacks and try to inject some codes on the man-in-the-middle. So please make sure that you have a Kali Linux setup on your machine. And also, if you would like to run the Android lab with me, I strongly advise you to install the Genymotion on your machine. Okay, this one, yeah, Genymotion is an actually Android emulator. If you set up and install this guy into your machine and create some Android emulators on that box, we are going to use that to exploit it. It's exactly the same Android-based images using
Is this Linux based?
no, Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. All of them are available.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. If you have any questions or any security support or any continuous security services need, please contact with the Norm Shield platform. This is our company. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. You're welcome.